Welcome, welcome. This is David Parra with AARP Arizona, and here we are again, continuing with this important topic. This is the second series of videos that we do on Arizona Votes 2022. Did you know? And once again, we have Gina Roberts, and this time we are going to be focusing on what's on my ballot. What's on my ballot? Gina, welcome, and thank you very, very much.
Hi, David. Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it. I love being here and speaking, of course, speaking to all of your viewers who are tuning in. We are so appreciative that you're taking the time to learn about voting. So thanks for having me.
Perfect. Yes. So I would like us to take the same approach. I will ask very straightforward, simple questions, and then you provide the answers for us. I see you are the voter education director for Arizona Clean Elections, and we so much appreciate your knowledge. How long have you been with the Clean Elections? I mean, you really handle this topic super well. So how long?
Thank you. Well, I've been with Clean Elections for about 8 years now, but I've been
Okay.
working in elections for about 15 years. So
Mm.
it's been a while.
We
So
are fortunate to have people such as yourself and joining our show. Thank you so much. So let's get started with our questions. I'll be asking again a question one by one, and here we are. It's going to be on what's on my ballot. And the first question, here it is. So what is on my ballot? Pretty loaded. Can you cover these items for us?
Oh, sure. Of course, David. So we are in what we call the midterm election year.
Hmm.
So as we know, we just came off of the 2020 presidential election, which puts us into the midterms, which means that we have all of our statewide offices are on the ballot. So it's going to be a pretty full ballot. But let's kick off at the federal level first. We do have some federal races that are on the ballot, including an open seat that's getting a lot of attention across the nation right now. And then, of course, we have our 9 congressional districts, which are up for election again. So, writing some key federal races here in Arizona. And then we jump into our statewide elections, which, as I mentioned, we have all of those statewide offices from governor to secretary of state to mine inspector to superintendent of public instruction. There's quite a bit there. Those all have 4-year terms. And so it's very important for voters to consider those on their ballot this year. And then, of course, at the state level, we have our state legislature. So we have 30 legislative districts in Arizona. Each legislative district has one state senator and 2 state representatives. So
Mm.
voters will have those on their ballot as well to select for, and they do have 2-year terms. And
Wow.
that covers us at the federal and state level, David. But then we
Hmm.
get into local elections. There could be county elections, city or town council elections, special districts such as a special water district or a fire district or school board elections. It all depends on where the voter lives. But again, these are all very important decisions that we make on every ballot. So I know voters are always so excited to vote in the presidential election. Gets a lot of media coverage, but these midterms, they're so important as well too. So we hope people continue to turn out at the polls.
Now, I mean, you've been with the with clean elections. You said 8 years, so you've seen at least a couple of full cycles. Have you seen this loaded ballot in the past? I mean, is it pretty common or not necessarily?
Yep, it's very common. So this is the cycle
Okay,
that we're on for midterms. So
okay.
again, every non-presidential year, that's when you'll see these races on the ballot. And one thing that I didn't note at the bottom of this slide, you'll see judicial retention and ballot propositions.
Mm,
Those will be on the November election ballot,
okay.
and so that's where voters will. I think most voters remember seeing all those different judges and justices on their ballot. There's usually a lot. That's where we decide, do we want to retain these judges and
Mm.
justices in their office, and then we have our ballot proposition number. So that's where you'll see, Prop 123, things like that. Those ballot measures for voters to consider.
A ballot is sent, a guide, I suppose, to his voters' guide. Is it what is sent to people's homes? Correct. What is the technical name for that?
At Clean Elections, we develop a voter
Okay.
education guide, and that's what we send to people's homes, to voters' homes, and it has candidates running for statewide and legislative office. So it's got great information there. But, we are in election season, David, so voters, I'm sure they're going to be getting a lot of information in their mailbox from candidates, from political parties, campaigns.
Yeah, this is just what it's part of our democracy, so we have to participate and be informed. Now, how about candidate debates?
So, we just talked about what offices are going to be on the ballot, but how do you know who to vote for, right? How do you
Hmm.
learn more about all those different mailers that could be coming to voters? I'm sure we're all commercials, right? So there's a lot of information out there, but sometimes, it's very helpful for voters to be able to hear directly from the candidates through a candidate debate. So Clean Elections, we are the state's nonpartisan voter education agency, and we sponsor debates for our statewide and legislative candidates, and this year for our federal candidates as well too. So voters, you actually have the opportunity to submit questions yourself, so we can ask the candidates those questions for you. So if you have something that's important to you, an issue, you can email our office, you can check out our debate schedule. But we are pretty much the only entity in the state that has these debates for all of our 30 legislative districts and for all of those statewide offices. We televise them. We have a great partnership with AZPBS. So if you tune into Channel 8 on Arizona Horizon, you can watch these statewide debates. We have them on our website as well too. They're archived, so you can view them on demand. A really good opportunity to learn about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and if you want, you can engage directly with them by asking them questions that are important to you.
In Arizona, of course, we have different entities that put their hands, so to speak, on the elections. You have the Secretary of State. Obviously, you have all the county recorders. But the more I know about the Arizona clean elections, the more I'm impressed. So you actually handle the debates as well?
We do, David, and so
Hmm.
that's so
Wow.
important. I think you bring a great point up, David. There are a lot that handle elections in Arizona. So the county recorder, for example, in our county elections office, they are the ones who are on the ground actually conducting the election
Hmm.
for voters. That's their role. That's their purpose. And then we have clean elections where voters gave us the purpose to provide that voter education. So it's one thing
Hmm.
to have the logistics of voting and conducting the election that our county partners do. And then it's another to be able to inform the voters on how they can participate and how they can learn about the issues and candidates on their ballot. So that's where we come in as Clean Elections to provide that nonpartisan voter education.
So you go up to the candidates and ask them if they want to debate. Basically, that's how it goes. Or I assume that you ask them. You don't tell them, right?
We do invite the candidates who
Hmm.
will be in contested elections, whose names are printed
Okay.
on the ballot, and the candidates are very familiar with our debate process. So we're really fortunate that they are with us to participate in these debates, and also they work with us to provide their information for that voter guide we discussed too. So yes, Clean Elections, we really are the state's agency or the state's source for candidate debate.
And how about this voter dashboard? What is this all about?
There's a lot of places that you can go to for election information, right? We
Hmm.
know, and often, and I know everyone does this. I do this myself. How often do we rely on Google to help us find the information we need, right?
Right.
So we wanted to create a single site they can go to and get all the information they need to vote. So they don't
Hmm.
have to try to figure out, well, what do I need to search for? What information do I need? So we created the voter dashboard several years ago, and it's a great resource for voters because all you have to do is put in your address, or you can even use the location tool, and we will show you the upcoming election key dates and deadlines. We'll show you those candidate debates. We'll show you the candidates that are running in your district. We'll show you the voting centers or the early voting locations that are near you. So lots of great information in there. It's pretty much a one-stop shop for voters. And again, all you have to do is enter in your address at the Clean Elections voter dashboard, and it gets you great information that you need to vote. And again, it's all nonpartisan, and it is all official, accurate election information.
I'm telling you, some time ago I mentioned to you that a few years ago, with one of my coworkers, used to mention a lot clean elections, and then little by little I began to realize, wow, I'm afraid that a lot of Arizonans are not aware of the Arizona clean elections, and you just have such great information. So this tool is pretty interactive, right? So you enter your address, and they pretty much tailor made the information to according to where you live, pretty much, correct?
That is correct, David. And I appreciate that note too, because as we've talked about, there's so many sources to reach voters and give them
Hmm.
their message, right? And we also know that there's a lot of concerns lately about misinformation and disinformation. And so, it's sometimes going to Google may not always be the best option, be that top link that pops up. So,
Right.
yeah, we appreciate any effort to share our website and our resources with voters. And, this is just our voter dashboard
Hmm.
of
Right.
information on the rest of our website. So, David, when we talked about those, what's on my ballot, those offices, if maybe you don't know what the state mine inspector is responsible for, or a
Hmm.
corporation commissioner, if you don't know what the role of that office is, that's okay. We have information on our website that explains what they're responsible for too. So that way you can learn about it and you can decide, okay, wow, maybe this office really is important to my daily life, and that might inspire you to learn a little bit more about the candidates and vote in that particular election.
You mentioned one-stop shop. Would you say that there's so many links that people share about the voting process? Would you say that pretty much all links linked to the voting process would also related to other entities such as Service Arizona, the state of the Secretary of State? Would you say that they will definitely find those links on your website?
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh,
So all
wow.
of the official agencies that
Hmm.
conduct elections, such as the Secretary of State's office or, Service Arizona for voter registration and our counties, we have all of those official accurate sources as well too. So if you're looking for maybe your county, let's say you live in Greenlee and you want to try and reach the Greenlee Elections Office, or maybe you want to serve as a poll worker, you can find that information on our website and we'll get you to the right place that you need to go to.
So what if people have more questions? What would you what other resources, or better, where can they go within your own Clean Elections website, Facebook, etc.?
Yeah, of course. So, voters, if you have follow-up questions or, as we get closer to the election and you want to do some more research, azcleanelections.gov. Full of valuable, nonpartisan information. Again, our goal is to educate, never to influence. And so you can pretty much find everything that you need on that website. If you have specific questions, you're welcome to email me. My email is gina.roberts@azcleanelections.gov. I'm happy to help you and get you the information that you need. And another great tip is to put clean elections on social media. So
Hmm.
this way you'll never miss a deadline because we'll always remind you on social media. We'll post important information. Search us and look us up on social media too. So great ways to stay informed.
Great. Gina Roberts with Clean Elections. Thank you so much. Very, very good information, trustworthy. Thanks again, Gina.
Thank you, David.